Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Nowadays, many people are using proxy apps and proxy servers. Now we will understand how these proxy apps will work, these pros and cons. Now understand how these proxy apps will work. Suppose your government or service provider has blocked access to these websites and some applications. You cannot connect directly to these websites or to these applications. For example, WhatsApp calling, you cannot make WhatsApp calling here. So what can be done is, you will be using a proxy server. In this case, you are transmitting, you are establishing a connection between yourself and the proxy server. Now this proxy server will talk with these blocker sites and it will transfer the data to you. So it is not a direct connection. You are connected with the proxy server. This proxy server will connect it with the blocker sites. It will take the data from this blocker sites and it will transmit the data to you in the same way. So this is how this proxy works. It's something like a broker. Now, how these proxy apps will work. Now, how the proxy apps are working is, these proxy apps will create a proxy in your mobile as well as they will be connecting with your proxy server. Let us understand this process by understanding how this WhatsApp, you are able to do WhatsApp calling. You cannot make a direct WhatsApp call. So what you are able to do is, this proxy app will be doing is, this proxy app will be reading the data from the WhatsApp. So WhatsApp to WhatsApp you cannot do it. So it will be reading the data from the WhatsApp. Now this data, it is transmitting as some anonymous data using some protocols, using some internet protocols. It will transmit this data to the server. So the service provider will not be knowing that the data is the WhatsApp data. The service provider will be thinking there is some data that is being that need to be transmitted. So this proxy server will transmit this data as some anonymous data using some internet protocols to this proxy server. Now this proxy server will be transmitting data back to this WhatsApp. So you are able to do WhatsApp to WhatsApp calling. Now, what are the pros and cons? What are the advantages and disadvantages? Now, the main disadvantage is, in the settings of your, whatever the data that is being transmitted, there is a very high possibility that this data can be recorded. Why someone should give you a free service? He's not charging anything. He's providing all his servers at free of cost to you. Why he should do that? The main thing is, there is a very high possibility that whatever the data that you are transmitting may be recorded and can be recorded. And the thing to be noticed is, whatever your user ID and passwords is being transmitted through the third party and it is available to him. Now he may be using, he can use all this data in the way that he prefers to use it. So this is a very dangerous situation. The second point is, in the proxy app that you are using, there is a setting and what apps you wanted to connect it to this proxy apps. In most of the cases, in most of the people, so will say all apps should be connected to the proxy apps. So whatever you are transmitting, whatever the transaction that you are doing is being transmitted to this third party and you don't know anything about this third party. Whatever the bank transaction you are doing, what are the bank apps that you are using is being transmitted through this third party. So if your bank's user ID password is being exposed, then this is a very dangerous situation for your personal privacy as well as the privacy of the country, especially if you are a government service. You may be dealing with number of things, and if you are transmitting all this data to your colleagues using some mail ID, and all this data, if it is being watched, then you can, and if your user ID and passwords are open to this third party, you can assume the risk that you are taking. So what I suggest is, you should not use any proxy servers or proxy apps. It is not good for your privacy as well as for the country where you are living, is one point. Now you may be saying that the bank passwords may be encrypted. Now you will be keeping the same password for 1 year or 2 years, and there is a very high possibility that they may be recording the pattern of the encryption, and the decryption may not be the big issue, is one point. The second point is, suppose your password is hello how are you, and this is being transmitted as ... So he need not be recording, he will be recording not your password ... Whenever next time he wanted to use your password, he will be using this ... just copy paste ... Are you able to get this point? So you are in a very open situation here. This is one point. The second point is, this is a suggestion to the parents. Now, select a service provider which has blocked the unauthorized sites to your children's. So I had done a small research on Vodafone and Ooredoo service providers. The Ooredoo service providers has blocked many websites which your children should not supposed to watch or supposed to see. So if the children go through these websites for a long time, the children may get into the depression. Now select a service provider which is blocking all these contents which is not good for your future of your children. They will be spoiling their time as well as their mind over these websites. So what, according to me, the Vodafone have a very liberty. He has given access to all the websites that they should not watch. The Ooredoo has done a very good work by blocking all the unauthorized websites. So this is my suggestion to all the parents, that take a good service provider which blocks your children for going through this unauthorized websites is one thing, and make sure that in your children's website you are not having any proxy servers.
I have one question. Many apps like VPN have the facility for selecting particular applications. Then what's the issue?
Now the question is, in VPN settings there is an option that you can select which apps should be included in this process and which app should be excluded in this process. You can take it out. Okay, this app should not be connected through this server. This app should be connected to this server. So you can tick which apps you wanted to connect, which app you don't want it to connect. My question is, so who is going to, okay, even though there is a tick, okay, it's not a big deal in the background. What is happening in background you don't know. You are assuming just outside, in the front ground it's just simple a tick. You are saying that, okay, I am not giving a tick, because of that this data is directly transmitted. I am giving a tick, that is why it is using the proxy servers. This is on the front ground. What is happening in background you don't know, how it is running in background. In front ground it is not showing any tick. In background it may be transmitting the data through your proxy server. There is a very high possibility for that. And as well as for bank apps, it will maximum, you may not be selecting your bank app, but it may be, there is a very high chance that it may be in background it is having a tick. In front ground it will not show tick. In the background it will show a tick, and this data can be transmitted through your third party.
Okay, Firozi, one more question. Is it permissible for using the blocked site by the authority through a proxy server?
Now the question is, is it permissible to use a proxy server to connect with the blocked contents? Now, I am not aware of the cyber laws of this country, but the government or the service providers has blocked some sites or some apps because of some good intentions, because of some security reasons, because of some good intention they are having. As a whole, they will take a big picture, and as a whole, because of the security, safety of the country, they will be blocking these contents, and the good about the nature of the people also, depending. For example, the children should not watch this website, that's why the service provider has blocked. So with a good niya, they have done this. Now, it's our courtesy to follow this rule. We should follow it. Now, if you are not following it, whether it is a crime or not, as per the cyber laws, I am not aware of that. Jazakallah khair.
Okay, thank you very much. Jazakumullah khair.